So you want to be a vampire, huh? Well, it's not that easy. For starters, you can't go outside in the sun, at least not without shade. You also have an undying thirst for blood, and people won't like that. Not to mention there's only really one good movie about you. So instead, just play Bloodhunt. You get to be a vampire without having all the annoying downsides. Cause let's be honest, vampires, they suck. Bloodhunt is a third-person character-based battle royale, kind of like Apex Legends, except you're a vampire. A blood-sucking, big-toothed, sun-hating vampire. Technically, it's called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt, since it's based off the tabletop game, but everybody just calls it Bloodhunt. Vampire the Masquerade is a lot like how Tom Clancy puts his name before everything. Like, we get it, Tom. Although both the vampire fad and the battle royale genre are long past their prime, this game does offer a wholly unique battle royale experience. Is it a good experience? Well, I'll get to that. But let's talk about what makes Bloodhunt unique. Shall we? Like I said earlier, Bloodhunt is a character-based battle royale, where each character, or archetype, has 2 abilities and a passive ability. The game takes place in a dark city at night, where it's raining and kinda spooky. You can pick where you spawn, and after you do that, you can go right in. Like most BRs, guns and other loot randomly spawn throughout the map. The rarity of weapons follows the classic green, then blue, then purple, then gold, keeping it classic. I think Fortnite started that. The world will be full of regular PvP enemies, but also NPCs. The NPCs are actually a way to heal if you suck their blood, and some NPCs will have a glowing aura around them, which means they will give you a little bit of a boost to some of your abilities, or increasing your melee damage or damage resistance, and you can only suck 3 of each of these guys. Look, I know you want to suck everything, you gotta chill, okay? Calm down. There are also NPCs that will shoot you on sight because, you know, you're a vampire. They're kind of annoying. Sucking blood isn't the only way you'll heal. You can also collect blood packs and these octane stem looking things. The blood packs will give you 100 health, but it takes a bit. And the octane stems is like an instant boost of slow regenerating health. Like Warzone, you also have armor, except you can only use 1 at a time. But that extra 50 health boost is incredibly important, especially when you're fighting against a guy that has 100+ hours on this game. Like seriously, the game is in early access. How do you have 100+ hours already, dude? Since you're a vampire, you can climb walls with ease, and people will freak out if they see you suck some blood or if you shoot them. And if you shoot a mortal, basically a non-vampire character, you'll be scanned for 60 seconds, meaning that enemies can see you across the map. So don't hurt mortals. There's a vampire code, okay? Although sometimes they look like enemies, like maybe make it a little more clear. What's pretty cool is that you're fighting at night, so logically the stores are closed, but you can break into a CVS and get healing items while causing a ton of noise because the alarms go off. There are also a wide variety of weapons, from shotguns, snipers, pistols, and machine guns. But there are a couple unique weapons. For starters, there's a crossbow that shoots out a caustic gas of smoke that does a decent amount of damage if you walk through it. It's not the greatest at range, but from close to mid-range, it can be pretty devastating. And unlike other battle royales, you can't just melee anytime you want. You have specific melee weapons that you can pick up, from an axe to a bat to katanas. And they don't take up a weapon slot, by the way. They're their own separate slot. And apparently you can deflect bullets with the katana. Like, that's crazy. I don't know if that's true or not. Someone in the comments will probably confirm or deny this, and I'd really appreciate that. But like every BR, you go in, get a bunch of kills, or you die instantly on drop. Luckily, if you get knocked and aren't finished, you can get back up. It takes a couple seconds, but you can survive for another fight. But the moment they kill you, that's it. No respawn beacon, no gulag, it's over. Okay, I'm kidding. There is a place to revive your teammates. It's just a little bit unclear. It's at these locations on the map, and it takes a bit of time to revive them. And unlike Apex, you don't really need like a ban or anything. You just revive them as long as they didn't leave the game. But most of the time, people would just leave. So it's like kind of confusing game. Come on. However, if you want to successfully survive the scary suckers, wow, that was a lot of S's, you'll need to know what each character does. So let's talk about... So far, there are 3 clans with 2 archetypes each, so a total of 6 different characters. Each clan shares 1 ability, starting with Clan Bruja. Is it Bruja or Bruja? I don't know. The Bruja clan has the Brute and the Vandal. The ability that they share is that they can leap super high up. The Brute has a shockwave punch that can do some instant burst damage, and they can passively heal up to half their health. The Vandal has a slam type ability, and they passively have damage resistance when they're fighting in close range with enemies. The next clan is... What's that? Nosferatu. The two archetypes in this clan are the Saboteur and the Prowler. They both have this Vanish ability, which is essentially like a Reaper ability, which lets them turn into smoke and disappear while not taking any damage for like a couple seconds. The Saboteur places a Caustic Trap Stink Bomb thing that is similar to the crossbow, and they can turn semi-invisible when they're crouching. It's not like that invisible, but apparently it works sometimes. The Prowler can send bats to scout for enemies, kind of like a Hanzo bow because it creates a big radius, and they passively see a trail that leads them towards severely wounded enemies nearby. The last clan is the Toe-Reader. The Toe-Reader? I don't know. The two archetypes in this clan are the Siren and the Muse. The ability that they share is called Projection Dash, which essentially lets them shoot a projection of themselves and then they can teleport towards it, which is a pretty sick ability in my opinion. The Siren can make a mini flashbang where if an enemy is close by, their screen will crack and they'll be kind of blinded and do a little bit of damage, and their passive is that NPCs won't snitch on you, especially if you suck blood right in front of them. It's pretty sick. The Muse's ability is that they can heal in a radius, both you and your teammates. Like like Lucio. And their passive is that they can use their abilities while knocked, which sometimes is useful, but most of the times you're just being kind of annoying. Whew, okay, that's all the clans. And there are going to be more clans to come in the future, and unlike Apex, these archetypes are fully customizable, from hair to gender to skin color. It's a lot. So once you find the archetype that suits you, you can go in and finally get some sick kills, and maybe even win. So the game is a fast-paced, high-mobility BR. It looks really good, right? Right? Well, let's talk about that. The gunplay feels rather simple but nice. Weapons are hit scan with damage fall off at range, ammo doesn't feel super scarce, and the movement is really smooth. I love that the fights mostly happen on the rooftops. It feels very epic, like I'm in an Underworld movie. You guys remember those movies? Is my age showing? Dang. The overall atmosphere is consistently spooky, and I'm here for it. I also like that you can choose where you spawn. I also love the way that you can finish enemies. You can either just shoot them on the floor, or you can go up to them and suck their blood, getting all your health back. Did I not mention that? Yeah, it's pretty great. If you're safe, you should suck them up. Okay, for the cons, I do want to put a disclaimer saying that this game is in its early access. So they may fix most of these issues, especially the bugs, which there are a lot. Can we swim?
Do you really want to find out?
Okay, so we can't swim.
Oh no.
There's apparently sharks, so the sharks are not really well animated, I won't lie. But there are other big cons to this game. The customization, while nice, makes understanding which type of archetype you're fighting unclear until they use their abilities. Some of these archetypes look so similar, especially when you change them enough, that I can't tell the difference. With the exception of Nosferatu, they are clearly like they're hunched and stuff. They have a very distinct look. But most character-based shooters make their different characters extremely distinct, even when they're wearing legendary skins. I think they should just do a better job with making all the archetypes a lot clearer of who they are. Perhaps by limiting the customization. It's nice that I can choose the body types of every character, but I think it'd be nice if it was clear that the Brute is like a bigger character and the Sirens are a lot smaller. Stuff along those lines will do wonders for the game. The map feels rather boring to look at. With it all being at nighttime, it does limit the designs, but maybe they could have made it look like Tokyo or New York with big neon signs and screens that could give it a bit of color that this game desperately needs. And also, I don't think it has to be in the rain. I think just extra clutter on the screen. The UI leaves a lot to be desired. The characters seem lifeless in the Elysium, and the whole overworld feels kind of empty and dead. The overall aesthetic is not very pleasing to look at after a couple hours because, as I said earlier, there's like a one note of color. Plus, not having the feature to queue up again or just leave instantly after dying is super annoying. I don't need to see all the XP I gained every single time. Not to mention the button mapping is limiting. Let me choose exactly how I want to play, please. Essentially, Bloodhunt is extremely cool in concept, but its execution, get it? It could be a lot better. Don't get me wrong, I really had a good time playing this game. It's genuinely a ton of fun. It's just frustrating that it's so clunky and kind of ugly on multiple levels, but I'm finding myself very much drawn to this game and very hopeful for the future of it. I do hope they fix most of these issues, and until then, I'm going to be giving this game an 8 out of 10. But what do you think? Have you played Bloodhunt? And if so, what would you rate it? If you haven't played it, are you hyped to play it? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, I spilled a lot of ketchup all over my shirt, so I need to go fix that. So I'll catch you later. Yeah, noob.